What's going on, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be discussing the 20 pre-order diamonds that MLB The Show developers have released for MLB The Show 19. So let me go ahead and hide this and get right into it. So first pre-order diamond is Roy Oswalt from the Houston Astros with 5 pitches. He's got that slow 12-6 curveball, very effective pitcher. I talked a little bit about him in the previous video. I'm going to be going through all of the diamonds in this one because I did not do that in the last one. So I have some clips here from the stream. The developers are kind of going through some of these players, so bear with me. Some of these might repeat twice, but I really wanted to focus for this video on saying that I would personally select a player that you would do well with, that you think you would do well with, or that you've tried out, or someone that fits your play style, if that makes sense. So for me personally, I hit better with left-handed hitters, so I might lean on a left-handed hitter in this situation. Like this Cliff Floyd, for example, is a very balanced overall hitter, and towards the end of this video, I will have some screenshots of the next one, or of some other cards that I might choose. And then when the developers release the last 10, I think everybody will be able to kind of figure out who they want. Something else I wanted to include in this video is that they did mention that you will be able to unlock about 10 of these cards along the way throughout the XP reward path, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, for example, I'll pick this Kerry Wood, probably not for the first pick, but a couple picks down the line, I'll definitely pick this Kerry Wood. It'll be great in the rotation. Same with that Tom Seaver, possibly Bob Feller, as we'll see later on. But this Buster Posey is definitely a good catcher. Me personally, I'm not going to choose a catcher simply because I'm going to be grinding out my creative player at catcher. But definitely some good options in Jason Kendall and Buster Posey so far. Barry Larkin is a good one as well. He is overall pretty good player. I mean, doesn't really have the power, but he's pretty decent. I mean, he's got the good speed. He's good at fielding. He's got good contact, which they did say would be more viable this year. And as we get to this Ted Williams, Steve Finley and Ted Williams are two cards that I'm definitely looking at. The Stan Musial I was looking at, but after I saw the power numbers compared to some of these other lefties, I'm not going to really consider that Stan Musial as my first choice. He might be my 7th or 8th pick, but right now I'm not really thinking I'm going to go for this card, even though he does have good contact versus both sides, good vision. The fielding is almost there, but this Granderson, I would actually rather have this Granderson simply for the fact that he crushes righties. He's got a little bit more power. He's got good speed, good fielding. I would want to platoon somebody with this card, absolutely, and he'll probably be a guy that I'll select later on. The last one in this kind of section is Bob Feller, and then we'll get towards Jackie Robinson. But Bob Feller has a sinker, slider, curveball, and that really good fastball. So if you want that Bob Feller, then go ahead and select him. If you're an Indians fan or you just really pitch well with him, I personally don't, so I'm not going to select that card. But this Jackie Robinson left field version is from the Immortal program from MLB The Show 18 from the previous year. But yeah, and then the next one is Frank Thomas. This one, he didn't really have as much power as I thought he would have, but definitely a good card overall. And I might choose, to get into the last section of these cards, I might end up choosing this Tony Gwynn, possibly the Chipper Jones. I'm not really thinking I'm going to go with that Ian Kinsler, but he definitely has some good overall stats, but the power's just not there. I'd rather have this Chipper Jones with a little bit worse fielding, switch hitter ability, good vision, good discipline. He's got a little bit of power versus righties. And this card might be a card to keep in mind. I might go with him. I might go with Lou Gehrig. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this next part. With this one, this is to wrap it up. Ian Kinsler, I'm going to be breaking it down into screenshots now with less video clips because I wasn't in control of showing those cards. I would like to go in detail and show all the stats for all of them. And I will do that once the game comes out. But I wanted to give you guys kind of preparation video on which ones to be thinking about, how to select one of these cards, because I think that's the main thing. A lot of people will not know which players are good, like for example, Chipper Jones has a different swing on that specific card than he did in the other one. But this screenshot, he'll have a different swing than he will for his signature series card, for example. So that might play into effect on your decision. But personally, I'm going with either that switch hitting Chipper Jones, Lou Gehrig, or Ted Williams. But here we go. The developers did choose Kerry Wood, and this is a screen that we haven't really seen all that much of. They're adding him to the rotation, and it shows the differences in the ace pitcher And if he was to scroll down, then it would show the differences in all 5 of the pitchers. I think this is really important to keep in mind. It's going to allow you to see, I guess, which players are better at certain areas than others, and it's going to allow you to compare them right on your squad menu, which is awesome. In this next screenshot, we're going to be just going through cards that I think that I would be looking at to pick eventually. So this Roy Oswalt might be the first pitcher that I go to because he does have all-around good stats. He's got good walks per 9, good hits per 9, good Ks per 9. He's kind of an all-around pitcher, 89 overall, good variety of pitches. Gets the ball up there at, 95. So he throws some cheese, but at the same time, he does have that slow curveball. So that's a card that I'm looking for. It's not going to be the one I initially pick, but it would be one I would choose down the road. The next one is Mike Schmidt. I wanted to show this card specifically because it does say third base in the top left, and it shows first base on the player card. But this card is a lefty destroyer. He's got good fielding as well. Definitely a great third baseman to get right away. But there are also a lot of good third basemen to go after live series wise. So I'm not really necessarily going to choose this card. This next one is Lou Gehrig, and I know I'm going to be contradicting myself a little bit if I do choose this guy, because I know there are a lot of first basemen that are also really good in the game. But at the same time, this is a new card. He's got 70 power versus right, 72 versus left, 93 vision. He's a little bit better than the Cliff Floyd in my opinion, just because of the vision and the power versus both sides. He plays first base. He can also play the outfield with a little bit of speed. 64 is not terrible, but this is definitely a card that I'm interested in going after. He will probably be the one I select first, just because I've gotten a chance to use a lot of the other ones that I was kind of thinking about going for, if that makes sense. But I might, in this order, I might choose Lou Gehrig, then Cliff Floyd, for example. This is another one. I mean, he's got better contact versus left, better power versus left as well. But at the same time, he's a left fielder. I never really used the Cliff Floyd card in any MLB The Show, and I know we've had him in years past, so I don't think I'll necessarily choose this one. But he is a good player. Definitely fits my play style as well. The vision is a little bit lower. I guess that's the one thing. The PCI might be it should be around the same size as Lou Gehrig versus a lefty, because what determines what the PCI, how big your PCI is contact stat and vision stat combined. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play. I know contact hitters are going to be a little bit better, so this card might play above his stats. I don't know. So that's going to be, if you want to decide on one of these cards a little bit later, like, you don't necessarily have to choose right away. Wait for some people to come out with some gameplay, some debut videos, some videos on just them selecting them and trying them out type of thing. So this next one is Kerry Wood. I did talk about him a little bit before. I'm going to be selecting this one eventually. He is a new pitcher in the game. I have to have this guy. If not, I will buy them off the market, because these cards are also sellable throughout the market. So people that get these cards along the way, they might not want them necessarily. They might have a better team already. They might have put some money into the game and bought a lot of live series players. I don't know. I'm just using that as an example. They might not necessarily want to use these cards. But the new ones, in my opinion, I think Kerry Wood, the new cards, Lou Gehrig, some of these guys that we haven't necessarily seen before, are going to be more expensive on the market than some other ones, because they're going to be popular choices that people are going to want to pick and keep on their team. So in this next one, we have Steve Finley. This is another card I'll be looking for. He's got all-around great stats. I mean, look at the way that his stats are balanced. They kind of go up and then down a little bit, but they're all in the 70s. And he's got good fielding all around, 66 speed, so pretty close to 70. But, I mean, this guy, right off the bat, if you get this guy, he's going to be a lockdown center fielder for you. Personally, I'm going to be choosing that Duke Snider or Joe Morgan as my first signature series card. So I'm also going to keep that in mind when I'm selecting this pre-order diamond. The next one is Ted Williams. I mean, I'm focused a lot on left-handed hitters in this one. I talked a little bit about that earlier, but I wanted to show you guys and explain why, because you're not going to really find too many guys on day one with 99 contact versus right and decent power versus lefties. Kind of has reverse splits when it comes to power there. Same vision as Lou Gehrig. Definitely has some higher stats when it comes to discipline and clutch, but not as much speed and a little bit worse fielding. Definitely a good card all around, though. This particular Ted Williams plays right field rather than left field as the primary. So keep that in mind, too. If you do play him in left field, he will take a small hit for his secondary position. And right field is more of a position that you want a better fielder and a stronger arm, or at least I do when I play. The next one is Curtis Granderson. I think this will be a great player to platoon, and I mentioned that he might be a great pinch hitter. a good player to come off the bench for a steal situation or a pinch hit, try to get a base hit and try to take advantage of his speed. I mean, he has 81 speed with 93 steal. Great overall defense. His vision is on the low end, and his contact versus left and power versus left is horrible. But you're not going to want to use this guy versus a lefty. So that's how I'm gonna go with this one. I think I'll end up choosing this guy because one, I'm a Tigers fan. I really love Curtis Granderson, but at the same time, I don't think I want him to start my team off. Frank Thomas is a card that you might want to use on the bench as well. He has really low fielding, but first base fielding might not matter as much as other positions on the field. But he does have good power versus right, good power versus left. I thought it would be a little bit higher, but I mean, how good are they going to make this card? We saw his signature series. He was amazing. Reminded me a lot of the Immortal Albert Pujols. So in this next one, this is another card I would like to have, but at the same time, he also has a signature series card that you get from just leveling up through the Diamond program, through the XP reward path. Reaching that Diamond level 100, you'll unlock all 5 of those 99s. He is one of them. But on the flip side, he is also very good. If you get this card to start with, you're going to be in good shape. He has maxed out contact versus right, just about maxed out versus left, 57 power, which we know that, I mean, we saw Tony Gwynn used in the developer live stream, I'm pretty sure, and he was hitting the ball all over the field. He was hitting the ball in the gap, over people's heads. I don't know if it was necessarily this one, but he was pretty good overall. Vision at 121, good fielding. I mean, not good fielding, but decent fielding. He was a much better fielder in his prime year, is what I was going to say. And then he has 58 speed, so he doesn't have the speed that he would in his prime, but definitely a great contact hitter. He still hit almost 400 this season. And the last one I'm going to be talking about is indeed Chipper Jones. I already talked a little bit about him, but this guy is, what can you say about him? I mean, switch hitter, 78 power versus right, 54 versus left. He's going to have good vision. He's got good discipline for check swings. Clutch with runners in scoring position when your controller is vibrating. He's going to be coming up in the clutch for you, and he's got 63 fielding, 65 arm strength. And Ramon said that he wasn't going to be the best fielder. I'm curious to see how third basemen play with this type of fielding. I know we're going to see that Brooks Robinson as one of those signature series cards from the XP reward path with amazing fielding, so that's going to be cool to compare right away. If I can look to buy some of those cards. Oh no, those ones aren't sellable. So if I can look to earn some of those cards as quickly as possible, then I will try out that fielding, the 97 fielding, and compare them to this Chipper Jones. But this might be one that I will end up unlocking. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm College Lefty. Let me know what you guys are going to choose for your pre-order diamond. And if there's new ones that come out with the next 10 diamonds that they reveal and my idea changes, I'll include that in another video, or when the game launches, I will include that in part of a video. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Peace out, everybody.